It's described quantum computers in ways that sound cool, but are just kind of wrong.
When I encounter something interesting, I like to write it down. My instant ideas, study notes, diary, or just random doodling across the paper. I like to keep everything there. This is not only iteration of things to improve my understanding, but also allows me to do one extra thing: stick it onto the wall. But here it goes a problem, or an interesting problem. The problem is actually simple. I used to stick the paper onto the wall, so at first it was perfectly fine. But I like to peel off from time to time to add more things onto my paper. You know, just more instant ideas, some new things related to the topic, or updates on my personal tasks. So after some time, the tape isn't sticky anymore. This is usually the time to put a new tape onto the wall. But at the end of the year, I always get tired from coming back to school, so I haven't changed it for a while now. And you might ask, well, how is this interesting? Well, hear me out. Every morning, I'll stick this paper back onto the wall. It has become a habit before I leave for school. I'll always check if the paper is on the wall. After going through all day studying, there's a chance I will find this still hanging on the wall, or I'll find it on the floor. Although I arrive at my house at the same time due to my schedule, whether the paper is still on the wall is somewhat random. You might think it's just the paper falling off at some time before I reach the home. You don't know. Before we carefully consider this idea, we need to lay down some rules. First, the room must be isolated from the other world, and we can't influence this paper, the wall, and the entire room unless we open the door. Not even putting a camera inside. Second, this paper has two states, either being on the wall or falling on the ground. But in either the case, the system is fixed. You can't find a paper that magically sticks itself to the wall, right? Now that we understand our system, let's check out our paper. At the start of the video, we made the postulation that the paper is in one of the two states, either falling off or sticking on the wall. But if this is the case, then before and after I open the door, aka making the measurement, the paper should always be in the same state, meaning I should always find the same states when I open the door. However, it is not the case. Instead of only measuring one result, the outcome is randomly jumped between the two. If we consider the paper's situation to be on the floor, then it does not make sense when I still find it on the wall sometimes. Which means the situation should not be either of the states, but somewhere in between. This is a problem right here, as we can't categorize the paper's situation into two of the states. As we previously defined, these two states are fixed, and we can't find the paper that is on the wall and on the ground at the same time. Thus, this postulation is incorrect, and we can conclude that this situation is generally a new way of being. Then there has to be a new state that we can use to describe it. Since you and I are the first to discover this interesting state, let's have the honor to name it Superposition state. If you're still here, thank you so much for checking out this video. I actually tried using the paper analogy to explain the superposition effect of a qubit inside the quantum computer. If you have anything that you didn't understand, comment it down below and I'll try to answer it for you. Also, I would like to give a special shout out for CCST 9077 at HKU. If you happen to be a student there, please make sure to check out this common course because this video is also submitted as a final project there. All of the content inside is based on the lecture materials. If not, then please consider to give a like or subscribe if you like this kind of content or you think this is interesting, and I'll try to deliver more in the future. Thank you so much.